In practice, what do? You need to get all of the stakeholders to the table and have open conversations where people, setting up a context of, mutual accountability where people have a platform to actually speak their minds, be truthful about marketing, saying, hey, I don't think we have the resources to run these 16 different campaigns right now. So let's start here. Let's build up and show ROI, and then let's add the next piece to this. Okay. And so then once you have all of that figured out, then you figure out what technology do we have? What do we need? What is our timeline going to be? Right. And then understanding success, get everybody on the same page about what success is, not only with the marketing piece, but the sales and the overall experience as well in those stages, and make sure that your definitions and that strategy and what everybody wants to see out of these efforts is aligned, and that you have a plan for ongoing iterations. And again, it doesn't have to be everything at once. Let's start with, hey, when we have these two buying roles, like let's focus on getting these two buying roles engaged in this lead score or this account score before we're bringing in sales. And then let's see how we do. Oh, that was too early, or it was too late, or we need this stakeholder as well. Okay, let's make some adjustments to the campaign, see how this impacts our pipeline, and continue to build on things from there. Because if you take it step by step, you get everybody to the table, and we're truly aligned across all of these different areas, not just, okay, we're going to get a list of target accounts and domains, and we're going to go after the VP of sales and the VP of marketing and the head of finance, and we're going to serve them each a little bit of different content. And then when one person downloads an ebook, we're going to send it over to sales and have them start building a buying committee. That's not really running ABM, ABS, and ABX properly. And there we are at 10 minutes. So from this point, if anybody has any questions or anything that I can answer as far as how to actually do this in practice, or any places that you get stuck, we have 5 more minutes to be able to cover any of that.
Cool. And one other thing to note, Mandy's also provided a downloadable document. So if you visit the expo session at any time during Hot Takes Live, or you can log back in afterwards and go to the Digital Reach Online Solutions booth. So when you go to Expo, you'll see all the companies that are presenting. When you go to Digital Reach Online Solutions, you'll be able to access that document. Any specific insights on that document that's shared, that how it can help a team guide their ABM strategy?
That is a really great point. And look at me being a bad marketer, right? I didn't even remember the resource part. I was so focused on getting everything done in 10 minutes. So on that document, what we have is, we have some key automations that you can build. It's focused in HubSpot because that's where we're deploying our ABM, ABS, ABX strategies for our clients, but some automations that can really help with all of that alignment. We have some video guides on how to build out these strategies. And then we also have some software comparisons if you're looking at building your tech stack based on kind of what your goals are, what the marketing motions and sales motions are that you're running. There are some resources there. So yeah, lots of fun stuff on that document. And then, of course, if anyone has questions, you can feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and ask away. But if you have any questions here, I'm happy to help. Otherwise, the resource will be there.
Awesome. And I think we only got a few more minutes. One that that take away, and curious if you have any tips kind of going into organizations to create kind of the ABM, ABS strategy, is where to get started. I think that there's a lot of people that get overwhelmed by what, needs to be done to get better at ICP creation and narrowing down the list of the companies that they should target. What's a typical starting point in a strategy that you could provide some tips for someone that's just getting started with a strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, depending on where your organization is at in its growth stage, right? If you already have the data around the accounts that you're most likely to close, that close at the deal size and velocity that you're looking for, then that's going to give you a great indicator. If you're creating your own category or you're newer to the market, that you're going to have to take a look at based on your market research, who do you think is going to be the best fit based on that data? And then depending on what your product is, right? Obviously, starting with the ICP is really important and starting with a manageable number of accounts. And so I think that you need to go wide enough to be able to collect data that is going to be meaningful, but you need to be narrow enough to actually understand what is working. And so, and then that also has some variables to it as well. And so depending on how much budget are you going to have to be able to deploy and reach this ICP, right? Like getting all of those variables in place. So I would say, to answer your question directly, rather than jumping straight into ICPs, I think that getting clear on the amount of resources that you have, both from a monetary standpoint and what you're going to be able to spend to get yourself in front of these people. Are you already getting in front of some of these people from your own strategies, right? And so how much time and marketing headcounts you have to put towards these efforts. So then you can decide, all right, like what size, and then of course how large our sales team is that's going to be working with the target accounts that we're focusing on. And so I think that laying the groundwork there, and then from there digging into finding out who the right ICP is and what information you should use. Whether, if you're a SaaS product like Breadcrumbs, right? Like there is likely going to be some intent data, but also some install data, right? You might be more compatible with companies that are already using certain software. And so I would say start with a smaller list and enrich it as much as you can with those layers of information, because then you can be more targeted and you're likely to have more success. And then you can expand out from there to people that maybe aren't showing intent, that are going to be higher in the funnel, or people that don't have particular pieces of tech that might not give you as many indicators about how your tool might fit into their overall tech stack and strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. And the biggest takeaway that I personally have also seen from experience is it's definitely putting the time and effort in up front to figure these things out. But then
Yes.
once you do, like that cross team alignment, that the SDRs, that sales team, that marketing, that everyone's aligned on, not only the accounts that you're going after, but more specifically, like what are the attributes and actions that kind of determine success that they should be looking for. So I think we are at time. I appreciate it. It's always hard to cram these in a short period of time, but check out the resource, the expo section for the document, and also connect with Mandy if you have any questions or want to continue the conversation.
All right. Thanks so much, Adam. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.